Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the best mods of the week in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager. We got a huge overhaul mod here bringing in Pathfinder mechanics with the DTO Codex of Might and Magic. This makes it so enemies and your teammates can actually do opportunity attacks using ranged attacks or spells. We also got the Heroes of Faerun Feats bringing in the very popular new expansion to D&D. We also got the Gunslinger class, the Soul Sorcerer, the Acheron clothing, as well as Conjuring Elemental Totems. Very cool mod, Aqua Fox Looongsword, and you've seen it here, the Dinner with Strahd, a Curse of Strahd story mod, which I did a video breakdown of this week, and that's where we're currently at because I'm having a ton of issues with Baldur's Gate 3. I've been getting a lot of comments about the hotfix. It messed up a lot of my saves, and unfortunately doing these videos ends up taking me a couple more hours, so I apologize if there's any issues with mods not working properly for this video. I've been spending hours now getting this to work. I also want to quickly mention my Lucky Clover domain cleric, which I released last week, and St. Patrick's Day is coming in a couple days here. So this class was designed with that in mind, with a bunch of unique spells. Spent around 60 hours on this. Unfortunately, it's not getting very many downloads at all. So just want to give a plug on this mod here, as I put a lot of work into it. Now first, this mod that I want to talk about is huge. The DTO Codex of Might and Magic beta here by Zaylin. It adds so much into the game. Now, this can actually give things like the Wizard their own meta magics. It's a huge overhaul. I also do want to quickly mention their DTO Otherworldly Archetype subclass mod, which has a new subclass for each of the classes in Baldur's Gate 3. But their Might and Magic mod is really cool because it adds in a whole new way to play the game with some new difficulty options. So it adds in like the Death's Door here, so whenever you become unconscious, you get marked with Death's Door, and per long rest, if you go down again, you instantly go down without a death saving throw. Enemies' critical hits are oftentimes more lethal and will occur more often, as well as opportunity attacks. Enemies will now be able to do range attacks and spells, as well as your team can also do this too. So this is really cool, adapting from Pathfinder. You also get the Ready Attack as an action. You can prepare the next attack for the next foe that enters into your attack range. If you've been playing this Lost to 2 early actions, you may be familiar with this concept, but yeah, it basically lets you strategize your combat encounters a little bit more. This also adds in a bunch of new feats. Giving you things like the Battle Healer here. When you restore hit points to yourself and an ally within enemy's reach, the target gains additional hit points. There's also things like Codex of Might Defensive here, giving a few different passives that you can choose between. You can do some pretty cool stuff like doing a great cleave per attack. Yeah, there's a lot of different features. I'm not going to go over every little thing that's added in this mod. I may have to do a separate video on this because this adds in so much. Rogues now get a fighting style, and even things like cunning techniques, allowing them to get the extra attack. Barbarians will also get the great cleave ability. The Ranger and the Monk also get some fun new stuff to mess around with. And then the healers here, or spellcasters here, also get a ton of great abilities. And here are all the Bard war songs they can do to buff up your teammates. There's new meta magics for all of the spellcasting subclasses. So the Warlock gets access to some, the Druid, the Sorcerer gets even more. The Wizard and the Cleric also get their own minor meta magics, which you can use per long rest. So you can do like a quicken spell as a Wizard. Very cool. I also want to mention that this mod is in beta, so there will be more added to it and bug fixes and all that kind of good stuff as it develops, but this is a very interesting one to keep your eyes on. Now, the Heroes of Faerun Feats here is in early access, and you will require the other mod here, the Heroic Inspiration 2024, both by the Real Zir here. Now, this adds in a bunch of the origins that are included in the new Heroes of Faerun book expansion for D&D. I know a lot of people really enjoy this. There are other mods that have this bundled within it, but this is a standalone alongside with the Heroic Inspiration. And a lot of these feats do revolve around the Heroic Inspiration. So for the Origins and Tarim Ruffian, when you roll damage for an opportunity attack, you can roll it twice and use the highest result. And if you have an Heroic Inspiration when you roll initiative, you can expend it to give yourself and your allies advantage on that initiative roll. This is really nice because, again, getting an advantage on that means you're more likely to get it and go first in combat. There's also the Tyro of the Gauntlet here, which allows you to use your reaction to stop your teammates from getting pushed or pulled, and after shoving an enemy, the next attack roll made against you has disadvantage before the start of your next turn. There's also like the Spellfire Spark. When taking damage from a spell or magical effects, you can reduce it by a 1d4, and you also learn Sacred Flame. Additionally, you can cast Sacred Flame as a bonus action, number of times equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. So there's a lot of fun, interesting ways to mess around with this. Again, this is in early access, so future updates will bring this more, but it's mostly for testing. I just want to highlight this though, because I know a lot of people really enjoy that expansion book. Now, the Soul Sorcerer here by ZX10RX, you may know them for creating the Mindweaver class, among many other amazing subclass mods, and even some cantrips. Now, the Sea Soul is focused on water, as you guessed it. One cool thing I do want to mention is that Dawnstar actually let them use some of their water spells via effects to help out with this mod. Love seeing things like that in the modding community. Now, this gives you the Water Whip, Pull Cantrip, or Push, allowing you to push or pull a creature, doing a 1d8 of bludgeoning. You also get the Crushing Wave, or Crashing Wave here, doing 2d6 bludgeoning. Fun feature too is it gets knocked away, and if it fails its saving throw by 5 or more, it is automatically knocked prone. We also get the subclass feature when you enter a water-based surface or are moving in one, your jump distance is increased by 5 meters. And the VFX for this are very cool. So here's the water wave there. And you can also choose some of the water spells here because it is a dependency for this mod. And you also get to choose between different sea soul spells here. So things like the Water Blast, conjuring a ball of water before hurling at a target, making a ranged spell attack at the target. On hit, they'll take 3 to 18 bludgeoning damage. Do a strength saving throw or be knocked prone. You get the Tidal Rush as well, rushing right a surge of water towards the target. When you reach the target, the water erupts in a 2-meter radius, creating a water surface, and immediately execute the Undertide Blade against them. And we also got the Dancing Wave here, summoning a 2-meter of surging water mass into existence. It is difficult terrain. Targets must do a strength or constitution saving throw or take 1d6 damage and be knocked prone. And bonus action allows you to move it around. Level 5 gives us the Water Cannon spell here, which can knock targets back and maim them, removing movement speed. Level 6 gives us subclass feature Turmoil of the Sea. If you knock a target prone, you can then cast that and it'll deal 2d8 of bludgeoning damage. And you can become water as a reaction or use 2 sorcery points to also expend that and reduce damage. And here is the Become Water, so you cast that and you become water. Then there's also the Undertide Blade there. There's also that Water Blast, which you can use to throw a ball of water. Love the appearances of these. Here's the Dancing Wave concentration as well. So yeah, very cool mod. I'm a big fan of any type of like Hydromancer, any type of water space spells casting. So yeah, check out the Soul Sorcerer by ZX10RX. Next up is the Acheron Clothing and Light Armor here by Onyx Omens. And that is the stylish piece of armor that you see on Shadowheart right now. I think that this looks really great, and here are the different appearances on the different body types. Really appreciate that they've also done all the way up to body type 4, as well as the tieflings and such. So I'm just gonna go through their images here because they highlight it very well. So Gith, Orc, and Dragonborn also get access to wearing this. Amazing stuff. It is honestly a very well done outfit here. I love the little details as you can see here. It's very clear they spent a lot of time working on this, so yeah, this is an incredible outfit mod, so go check it out. This is the Acheron Clothing and Light Armor by Onyx Omens. Now next up we got the Conjure Elemental Totems here by XM Drac. This is really cool because I like any type of totem caster. If you play Divinity Original Sin 2, their summoner, one of my favorites, gets a bunch of totems like this that you can cast into battle. So you get this at level 3 for a few different spells or classes. You also get the Scrolls of Conjure Totem here, and these can be purchasable at from merchants or from chests. There's a few different choices here. Now it's supposed to show up at level 3. Unfortunately, I had it working earlier today, but as I mentioned, I was trying to get this video up for so long and I can't figure out the right correction to do this and get it to appear. So my apologies. I'm not sure what is happening here. Maybe some of the other mods that got installed, but I did test it and it works great. So there's a few different types of elemental totems. The wind one will create gales. A wind, I should say, not the companion. And it'll also boost up movement speed, granting an additional bonus action. The Thunderstorm totem will create a thunderstorm in the area. There's also the Earth Reinforcement, will reduce all physical damage type by allied creatures. There's the Fire one, which will create fire beams and burning waves in the surrounding area. The Healing Rains will actually heal your teammates with a Healing Water Ball. And the Nature's Grasp, which will do poison damage and entangle targets. So yeah, this mod is really cool. I love totems, so I can't wait to do a future video on this one. Now look at the super cool sword that my character has on their back. This is amazing. And this mod is the Aqua Fox Looongsword by Scurvy. I gotta say, this thing looks really nice. I love the large Adachi style weapons. Like all Scurvy's mods, it's progressive, so it's going to get additional abilities as you continue to level up. Love that. It'll also allow you to do a riposte attack, which you could do a double slash on the target. You also get like the Frigid Rush, Cone of Cold. Another thing I do want to mention is that Scurvy also released another update to their Queen's garments here, and that's the outfit you have seen on my character here, alongside a few other outfits. Some of them can't show here, but Scurvy's always working very hard. I pretty much feature them in every single video because their work is incredible. I love this sword. It's worth checking out. And speaking of awesome swords, the Crescent Needle IMM in-game mod manager by Badwitch_69. What's cool, I really appreciate, I do with my mod weapons as well, is make them light, so you can dual wield both of these if you wanted to. But the Crescent Needle here is going to have the Lunar Blessing and Lunar Flare there, so this is what it looks like on the character. So Selune style, you see on the handle there, and this weapon is awesome. So a little extra radiant damage, balanced piercing damage, and it's also a light finesse longsword. A lot to love with this one. and the blade will slightly glow and go out. It is really well detailed, so that's worth checking out, that Crescent Needle IMM. Next up is the Pact of the Talisman by Ed Helsereg. This is a new pact for the Warlock, which introduces the Pact Talisman, and I like the changes they made to this. So basically, it's an item that's going to go in your inventory, so you don't actually have to replace your Talisman slot because there's a lot of good ones in Baldur's Gate 3. This gives you 4 charges at level 3 here when you summon it in, and what it does is it can give you a 1d4 bonus to an ability check or to a saving throw as a reaction. This is cool, and then also as you continue to level up, you can upgrade it similar to the other deepened packs, which lets you use the rebuke of the Talisman, which will deal your proficiency bonus in psychic damage and pushing them away 9 meters as a reaction. So nothing too powerful. It's very balanced, and I think this is fun. They also have some implementation notes, and I actually think it makes a lot of sense how they did it, and I appreciate this mod. Next up is the Gunslinger. This is one I know a lot of people really wanted, made by Adarugo, and I also want to shout out Adarugo because they also made a mod this week that I really appreciated. They actually translated my Lucky Clover domain cleric, so if you speak Korean, you can now play this in that language. So thank you again, that is very kind of you. And with the Gunslinger here, this is a very popular class for good reason. You get to summon Firearm here at level 1. You also get Quick Draw, giving a bonus to your initiative, and you can add your proficiency bonus to attack rolls with firearms. There's also different fighting styles. You can use the archery to boost that up. And one thing I also appreciate is they added a few different choices for your dialogue tags here, so you can fine-tune the way that you're getting, dialogue in combat. So that's really nice. Another thing is there are a multitude of subclasses. So it has the classics Deadeye, High Roller, Secret Agent, Spell Slinger, Trick Shot, White Hat, and a homebrewed Desperado. Love to have this class now available as like a standalone class, as there's one in the 2024 Player's Handbook, All in One Beyond mod. This is a standalone one. It also includes a bunch of weapons, which you may have seen my character holding, like the sniper rifle that is on their back. So yeah, it also comes with a chest that you get full of different weapons. So you got like revolvers here, there is a musket, there's also the blunderbuss. So yeah, you can go ahead with all these different types of weapons here. They look awesome too. There's also equipment, and it's kind of interesting. I seen an outfit like this a long time ago. I used it on one of my first modded playthroughs, and yeah, we now have that outfit available here. I haven't seen it since. It also comes with some gloves, and there's clothing versions or actual equipment versions. So there's a lot going on with this mod, and it has full level 20 support, which I think is just great. So you can see all the different abilities here. I will be doing a future video breaking this down just because there is so many things going on with it. Very well done too. So yeah, this is definitely worth checking out. The Desperado is a very cool homebrewed subclass. And weapons like the revolver here get a chance after level 6 when you hit an enemy with a ranged attack to give yourself haste. A lot of really fun abilities here. So yeah, check out the Gunslinger. Next up, we got the Celestial Patron Warlock by Ed Helsereg here, which is the creator of the Pact of the Talisman. I wanted to highlight this one here. I know there's other Celestial Warlocks. This is a full level 20 support one, and I think it's a very solid one. So you get a healing light, you can add your charisma modifier to radiant and fire damage, you're resistant to radiant damage, and you get the celestial resistance per short rest, granting your ally 17 temporary hit points. And again, there's a level 14 ability as you continue to level up. So it also comes with the Crown of Stars, which comes with a level 7 evocation spell, which lets you shoot a light bolt, dealing 4 to 48 radiant damage. So you get this starting off. It is really nice. So Celestial Patron Warlock. Next up is the Barrow Guard by E Groovy. Now this is it's kind of like a fighter class that's focused on undead. So you can see some of the different VFX and abilities here. Now I'm having issues with getting this one to load up. I still want to highlight it. It isn't causing issues for other people. I was having a lot of issues getting my mods to work properly today. So I had it working at one point. It's just adding in more mods. It does cause issues. My apologies on that. I just didn't want to disclude this mod because I do think this is a really cool one, because level 3, you get the Draugr dice here, which allows you to power up your Barrow Guard abilities, which gives you the Dark Rider ability. So you can use this Draugr die here to give yourself the Ghostly Stallion, which lets you dash or disengage as a free action once per turn. In addition, if you take dodge action as a free action once per long rest, this will give you advantage on dexterity saves and enemies disadvantage on melee attacks against you. You can also summon in a ghostly hand, and yeah, there's a lot of fun, like undead themed stuff with this mod. Again, expect this in a future video, just having so many issues today, unfortunately. Crowd Call. This is a really cool mod by SwissFred57. Now, this is a mod that'll just remove all the people that are wandering through Baldur's Gate that are, doing nothing. You can't interact with them. This is nice. I think it's meant for people that have agoraphobia, fear of crowded or open spaces. I also think this is great for those that may have issues with running. Like if your CPU just has issues in Act 3. I'm having issues in Act 3 right now after the hotfix, so I'm sure this could be beneficial to some people, especially if you're running on a PC that is, you know, struggling with Act 3. A lot of people's PCs struggle with Act 3. This may help out. I can't confirm or deny if it does help out or not. I just want to mention that. But still, a very cool mod, as there's a lot of people running around in Act 3. Next up, we got always show approval notifications by Stan _. This is nice because if you have your teammates' approval go up too high, they stop showing if they approve on your dialogue. So this will restore it so that even if you got maxed out approval, it'll still show you when Shadowheart approves. So you know you're making the right decision. So yeah, this is just a nice mod. You may notice too that pop-ups may happen a little bit more frequently, just the way that it ends up working behind the scenes. Next up, we got the replay love test mod here by Sinus23. This is really cool. It just lets you replay the love test, which is nice. It's a little sad you can only do it once per game, but this now does it. And they even mentioned if you're using the polyamorous mod, this lets you do it with all of them, and you can do it on repeat. So replay love test. Next up is Char's Hairs EA by Char Mods. This is the hairstyle you may have seen on my character here. I love it. So like their other mods, they're very well done. More hair to be added in the future. Here's the different versions. They have the split dyes. You may have used Char's split dyes. It's even on console now, which is amazing because I like the look of the split hair colors. This was the few different variants that you do get with this mod. So we're gonna go through them here quickly. I like the long hairstyles, and this just is another great one here that you can add in. And I like the way that it works with the hair highlights. So Char's Hairs EA. Next up, we got Where Gnomes Meet. I love the icon for it, Where Gnomes Meet, Where Winds Meet. This adds in 6 hair models for the gnomes. And if you know anything about playing gnomes, they sometimes just don't get a lot of mods. Not a lot of people play gnomes. I always appreciate when modders are making different types of things for different races like the gnomes. So yeah, this mod by Exor Sinner here is awesome. It's an ongoing mod too. It adds in 6 new hairs for the male gnome base, and then they'll add some more in the future. So yeah, we're checking it out. You can see all the hairstyles there. And next up, we got some pose mods. This one's really nice. Luna's Sitting Casually Poses by Lunala Plays. If you ever noticed, whenever you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, everyone adopts the worst posture ever. As a personal trainer, it makes me sad. Look at Gale over here. He's going to have some very bad issues with his neck. And this is something that is just the way that the characters sit in Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, they got gamer back. So shrimp check. This will make it so that you can use pose mods to then fix that. And the sitting looks so much more natural, as you can see there. And it works great on everybody. So I'll just quickly go through all that there. Yeah, sitting politely casual pose. Lunala's sitting casually poses. And next up, we got the cozy moments here by R. Dicarios, which adds in some nice couple poses here. So I always like seeing new photo poses. It's always fun to just mess around and have some cool shots with your characters. So just want to go through these here. Pretty cool stuff. That is the cozy moments. And finally, we got Shadowheart Dwarf, Dwarven redesign by Ace. This is by Ace243. This redesigned Shadowheart into, you guessed it, a dwarf. And with this mod, it also changes Shadowheart's dad to become a dwarf and her mom stays human. So pretty cool stuff. Ace also released another Karlach redesign and Gale Dragonborn, and also their Shadow Druid class mod as well a couple weeks back. And into Nexus mods. I didn't have a lot of time to test and try a lot of mods this week, unfortunately. Again, Baldur's Gate 3 issues have been popping up very frequently, but this one's really nice. The Dynamic Camera Rotation Sensitivity by Volatio. This will smooth camera rotation and scale sensitivity based on mouse speed with in-game mod manager configuration menu settings so you can smooth it out. I really think this is nice. Now, it is also compatible with native camera tweaks, I should mention that. And there's no way for them to control the speed of vertical rotations that adds to the base game. Thankfully, added a support to changes, so that's really nice. Now, I've been playing a bit of Solasta 2. One thing I actually really like is their camera moves so freely. I've been using native camera in Baldur's Gate 3 since it came out, but this is nice because this lets you actually choose the rotation sensitivity, so you're not like giving yourself whiplash. Amazing mod. And another awesome Nexus mod here. We got Bambi's Fawn by Bambi 009. This adds in a new head mod here. I'm gonna go through their shots because they did a great job capturing what this one looks like, and it is amazing. So here we are. And this hairstyle, if you're gonna ask, is Posey Libre's whimsical hairstyles. So if you want to complete the look, that'd be the 2 mods to download. Amazing stuff. I think this looks great. Again, by Bambi 009. And finally, another mod by Volatio here, the Hirelings Unlocked. Don't you ever think it's weird how you can only recruit 3 hirelings? Well, it's because the game only really lets you have a party of 4, but with mods, if you want to add in and create your full custom party, this mod will let you unlock and use as many hirelings as you want. So again, if you want to check out the video I did on the Curse of Strahd, I went through the whole mod. It is incredible, and that's the location that we're at today, because unfortunately we're stuck here because Baldur's Gate 3 is having some loading issues, and this is the one save that decided to load and work. But yeah, if you want this really cool green squirrel, go download the Lucky Cleric domain in Baldur's Gate 3. Let me know which of these mods is your favorite. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and I hope you guys all have an incredible day. We'll catch you in the next one.